The eyes of it.
Our journey has been steady from the advent. With crystal clear vision, we started off as a news online portal. We subsequently evolved into a magazine, and now on your radio. We do not only bear the name Media House. We practice with the best ethos of our professional calling, presenting facts with objectivity. We are committed and resolute. We are HallowMace. We are the standard bearers. It's HallowMace on radio, dedicated to promotion of legislature, democracy, and good governance. It's hot, interactive, educating, engaging, and entertaining. HallowMace on radio, Thursdays, 10 a.m. on Armed Forces Radio, 107.7 FM. HallowMace on radio. Parliament. Brought to the people. Brought to the people.
Beautiful morning to you, cousin. Thank you for joining us on this edition of the program, HallowMace on Radio. It's the first edition for the month of November. Glad to have you on the flip side. Hoping that you make sense of the interaction we have between now and 11 a.m. If you're joining us for the first time, HallowMace on Radio, it's a program that is dedicated to the legislature, importantly addressing issues of democracy, good governance, transparency, sincerity of purpose in Nigeria and beyond. This edition of the program would have so much to do with the reserved seats for women bill. Focus is hope or illusion. And I think that with my guest in the building, we'll be able to make sense, make clarifications as we go through the program. She's no other person but Honorable Beni, member 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, partly 10th, National Assembly. I wish I could go on and on. Cousin, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Indeed. You know, the excitement is natural with me. I don't intend to pretend. I know that you know me with originality of purpose. And my producer would want to, at this point, sanction me and say, it's not going to be a tribal thing on radio now, right? So, but it's okay. Permit us to have a good time with you on radio as we go through this broadcast. We still would expect another guest to join us. If she comes, we'll introduce her for you. But I would like to start up with the Honorable member of the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and partly 10th. At this point, maybe you should say something to my people. It's a new month.
Well, happy new month.
Cousin, we should say.
And I know that Nigeria is a great country. I believe in Nigeria. I'm a patriot.
Indeed.
And I'm a diehard.
Indeed.
Through thick and thin, let's stick with it. We'll get out of it. Whatever we're going through, it's part of challenges of a growing nation.
Indeed.
But let's just make sure we grow in the right direction.
I love the
I
words.
love Nigeria. I love you all. May God bless you all.
Amen.
And may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Amen. So I know you would have wanted us to talk more, but we intend to talk on the reserved seats for women bill, a hope or an illusion. It's not that you mentioned the concept of patriotism yesterday while I was on radio. I was talking about the Trump's intervention here, but it's okay. Maybe when we have time, we'll look at that briefly. So let's take a moment as we go through this major issue that has been a concern for us. I did a little research, and it looks as if women are not truly represented in the National Assembly. So let's have the Honorable Member talk to us. What do we make sense of when we hear the reserved seats for women bill? What does it mean?
Well, thank you very much for having me, and thank you for bringing this topic to the front burner. This is an issue, the issue of special seats for women has been an issue that has been on the front burner for women. as legislators in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th Assembly, we tried to get a similar bill through, but it didn't happen. But now I'm very happy that under the leadership of Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas of the 10th Assembly, the 10th Assembly is committed to ensuring that this bill is passed. The special seats for women, reserved seats for women, we prefer to call it special seats.
Special.
For women, women's bill, is a bill that is long overdue. Okay. It's a bill that seeks to address the issue of the extremely low representation of women in parliament in Nigeria and in elected offices, but particularly in parliament. The bill seeks to alter certain sections of the Constitution, Section 48, Section 49, especially and Section 91. Section 48 of the bill seeks to create an additional seat in every special constituency, meaning in every state for the Senate. Okay. So, as you know, the Senate has 109 members, and we have 3 senators from every state. The representation is based on equality, meaning every state has the same numbers. Now, that of the House of Reps is slightly different, and Section 49 stipulates that there will be special constituencies. It seeks to alter Section 49 to amend it so that there will be room for 2 special federal constituencies. And those constituencies are supposed to have only women contest for those seats. And the same thing for Section 91, the House of Assembly. 3 additional seats are recommended, are proposed in this bill. All right. So if this bill passes, we will see an addition of 37 women from the Senate, plus the FCT, and also 37 from the House of Reps, and then 3 from each state of the House of Assembly is seeking to alter Section 91 to ensure that the House of Assembly creates 3 special constituencies. Now, the good thing about this bill is the already existing 360 seats are not threatened. Okay. Those seats will remain open to all. Okay. But the additional or the special seats will only be for women to contest for. So that gives women more of a platform. Because as you know, historically, women have been disadvantaged. Women have been marginalized. The systemic discrimination against women and the lack of empowerment of women, even in constituencies, and the barriers that women face have made Nigerian women to have one of the lowest forms of representation in elected offices around the world. And it's very worrisome. The International Parliamentary Union called out Nigeria, and they said that Nigeria had one of the lowest, not only in Africa, but around the world. And this is not good for a great nation like Nigeria. So we need to portray ourselves as a country that includes women, or seeks to include women deliberately, because we all know that women are better at governance. Women are more prudent. The saying goes that if you want performance, elect a woman. If you just if you just want somebody to occupy a seat, then you give a man. I got that.
Now, because look at what I'm thinking. You know, while you talk, the point is, I understand that video is about education. The Deputy House of Representatives Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, has pushed the matter in the 10th National Assembly maximally, and involvements are still on. What I am looking at, I think that some cousins who are following us on live radio now will get clarification, because most times when we talk, I'm trying to say, are women actually interested in politics? Because if they are, how come at this point we have this marginalized number of people in the Senate and also in the House of Representatives? So you might help make us clarify the concerns some Nigerians have. You've made a statement Give a woman a position and performance is non-negotiable. But give a man, it's just a matter of, let's have a figurehead. I'm borrowing your words now. So help us. Let's see. Do you think that it's about orientation? What is the issue that it looks as if women are not truly represented until now that we are pushing for these special seats for them? What would you think is the issue?
I think the issues stem back from tradition.
Okay.
Traditionally, and if you listen to the words of the former President Buhari, women belong in the other room.
Uh-huh.
That showed a lack of political will. Any leader, number one, should think of the welfare of its women and children. Because the welfare of the women and children and the growth of the women and children impacts society.
Maximally.
Women have been excluded from decision-making roles in our communities. If you look at Igbo culture, Hausa culture, Yoruba culture, women are not invited in traditional meetings. Women are not. So that mindset of women being excluded in the traditional making decisions, even at the local level, sort of
influence.
Influences it and is ingrained that, leadership is only for men. Now, women have specific talents and skills that they bring onto the table. Women are value added. It's like selling a raw material. I'm from a state that produces solid minerals.
Yes,
and now the government has said, we don't want you just to export the solid minerals. Add some value, process it. So women bring that additional value to the table, to the discussions. For instance, we have issues of maternal mortality and, childbirth, infant mortality. If we have women in elected offices, more in parliament, I believe that Nigeria will not be on that list of being one of the highest where women die at childbirth. And also we have a huge number of children that are out of school. Nigeria is one of the highest number. And many of the problems we see today, insecurity, insurgency, is because there are millions of children roaming the streets doing nothing. And yet we patronize these children when it's school hours, during school during school sessions, children are selling things on the streets. And Nigerians go and still patronize them. If women are in parliament, more women will make sure that these children are in school.
Absolutely.
And at least they have basic education up to secondary school level and skills training. Women are more, by nature, more inclined towards ensuring the growth of families, communities, and society.
Absolutely.
So I believe we will have better governance if we have women. Women have been excluded financially. Women don't have the financial enablement that most men have. Politics in Nigeria is a lot of money. If you know the amount of money politicians face, where is an ordinary young lady or a housewife or even a professional? She's thinking, it's such a risk. Even if I spend my money, I'm not sure I'll get it. Because in some states, there are godfathers that determine, especially, I'm sorry to say, but it's true, political parties, governors determine who goes where and who goes there. And in some other places, party leaders determine. It's not even based on a fair, level playing field in so many political parties. So it makes the barriers are tilted towards women. So yes, it does discourage a lot of women. Women are discouraged.
I hope that they are inspired with what we're doing now, because I think that after today, quite a number of them would want to say, if Beni Lara was in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and partly 10, then there should be possibilities that I should start building up my dreams as well. But talk to us on this. How would the bill alter the composition of the legislature, if at all it pulls through?
Yes, then there will be more members.
Okay.
Like I said, there will be a total of 37 in the Senate, 37 in the House of Reps, which is a total of
139. I mean, I don't know maths well now. I want to put 37 and 109 that we have already.
Yes.
For the Senate.
Yes.
Okay.
And then in the House of Assembly, 3 per state.
All right.
Plus the FCT.
Okay.
So we will have at least an additional, we will have a parliament, House of Reps of about 460 something.
Okay.
So yes, there will be an increase in the number.
Okay.
I mean, total parliament.
Okay. But will it alter the composition now? Because I'm trying to look at the understanding, because at the moment, with what we have, I should think that the representation has been very poor. Are they going to come by elections too, or they are just coming on appointment? I don't know. How is it?
It's not a quota system.
Okay.
Nigeria, this is not a quota system.
Okay.
It has to be contested.
Okay.
It's just that it's special seats, and those constituencies will be called special constituencies.
Okay.
And it will only be for women.
So what would be their responsibility? Will they have special seats that might be different with the understanding of responsibilities as other legislators, or it will still be the same function?
They will have the same function as any other legislator. They will take their oath of office on the same day that other legislators are treated, and they'll be treated like any other, according to the Constitution.
Okay.
The responsibilities and roles do not change merely because they're special seats. They're special seats because for electoral purposes of INEC. So INEC creates special seats.
All right.
So as far as INEC is concerned, it's a special seat. But when they get into the House, it's the same role of oversight.
Okay. They can be appointed chairman of committees.
Yes, exactly.
I got that. Now, cousin, possibly you've got some questions to ask, or you would want to make contributions. I open the phone lines for you now. 0707 242 6258. The numbers again. 0707 242 6258 is the number for you to call and be part of this live radio broadcast as we focus on the reserved seats for women bill. Hope or illusion? You possibly have listened to my guest, Beni, member 6, 7, 8, and 9, partly 10 National Assembly, and you're already forming opinions on the flip side of the radio. But this is the point at which we want to magnify the conversations around women getting involved in our politics in Nigeria. Over 20-something years, and it's still with the number. I was trying to take a look at what the Deputy House of Speaker was saying. He said for now, we have over 1,000, talking about both the House, State House of Assemblies, the National Assembly, and then it's like the total number of women represented is just 60 put together. And you are looking at 1,000 over. It's a challenge. So, cousin, I think that you might want to speak to the issue as the House moves this bill some more. What should we be having in amending the Constitution? 0707 242 6258 is the number for you to be part of this live radio broadcast. Now, talk to us. Would there be challenges? Do you think that the concept now, with what we have, would there be some challenges that will face the bill's proposition?
Well, there's always challenges, but I believe that there won't be any challenges that cannot be overcome. I believe there's more awareness, and I'm very happy that the Governors Forum, the 36 states, all the governors in Nigeria have given their nod to support this bill. I think that will go a long way. The Speaker, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, and of course, the sponsor of the bill, the main sponsor is Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu. So I think the National Assembly part, by God's grace, is not going to be a problem. There's already awareness and a consensus.
All right.
And I think at the states, with the 36 governors making the pronouncement, I believe it will sail through at the State Assembly. So I think this will be the first, it will be a historic bill.
Okay.
And I think Nigerians can make it happen.
All right.
So I think everyone should talk to their state legislator, talk to your federal legislator, your senator, and let them know your support for this bill, and let them know that you do want to see their vote in support of the bill.
Now, this is our country, and I'm looking at the coming days. Nigeria is a nation of over 220 million people. And with what we are bringing live on radio as some of the facts that are available, nearly half, 49.3% of this population are women. And yet, the number of women who sit at the table of power in the country is painfully, I want to underscore the word painfully, low in the current 10th National Assembly. Only 19th out of 469 legislators are women. just 3.8%. So when you hear a number like this, you're wondering, do we actually understand the concept of equality? Let it not be that I'm going to go personal now, but at some point I'm looking at your work and I'm finding it. Was there a little challenge with the understanding people have? Because if you've seen result, you've seen performance, why? I'm going to go out of my script now, but it's okay. Let me respect the minister. Do you understand my point, sir? Because you are one distinguished. I'm adding the word distinguished now naturally from my perspective as one of the members. Each time I've talked about your own constituencies, I've had people talked about your commitment, your service to the state and to your constituency. Now, we don't do comparison, right? But it is clear the results are there. And you're wondering what actually happened. Would you see that as a result of this issue of the tradition that Nigerians are always feeling women are not supposed to be there? Because what we would want to say that is a little over 2 years that the person who took over from you came in, and it's a challenge. Help me. I'm trying to make sense of this moment, right? So talk to us. How does that sit? Because you would wonder if we're actually looking out, advocating for women to have more representation, and then you have those that are already there, but then deliberately one thing or the other, they are pushed out. Would you talk to us on that?
Yeah, well,
I'm trying to be economical as well.
Forgive your cousin. Let's, like you said, let's speak from a personal point of view.
Yes, cousin.
You see, the right to vote and be voted for is an inalienable right. It's a fundamental human right.
Cousin.
When you take away the power to choose from an individual or human being, it destroys the very fabric of society.
Cousin.
And it can consume a community or a society or a nation. Now, I want to go back to, I thank God for the privilege of serving my people.
Yes, cousin.
And I think the more I served, the more I felt obligated to do more. Because my father had told me that whenever you're in public office, don't think about yourself. Think about those people that voted for you and do everything possible in your power to ensure that their lives are better off than you met them. And that was my motivating factor. First of all, a lot of people do not have the training for leadership. You have to train yourself, either from the Bible, from the Quran, or from, studies, knowledge. Read stories of other leaders. I came from America and I was on many campaign teams before I moved back to Nigeria to contest. And I saw how people made promises and kept to those promises. And if you didn't keep to your promises, you would not be reelected. So I held myself accountable. I didn't need anybody to hold me accountable. I think one of the reasons where we go wrong is, number one, when people don't choose the leaders that they should. Secondly, when you choose leaders and now the judiciary takes it away for one reason or the other, which is what happened in our case. We all won our election. We were, doing our job, 24 of us from Plateau State. And for a reason that never existed, the Supreme Court said there was no reason to remove us at all. And it has caused a lot of pain and suffering, even to the constituencies. I know my constituency is going through a lot of pain. And those 24 constituencies that were all removed, House of Assembly Senate and House of Reps, the huge miscarriage of justice that happened has brought a lot of setback to the people in Plateau State. But we thank God that the Supreme Court was able to affirm the Governor Caleb Mutfwang.
Yes.
So it's very important that the court align with the wishes of the people. Because if the courts don't bring in the wishes of the people, you can't hold those other people accountable because they didn't come in through the will of the people. So when you're elected, the people will hold you accountable. They give you an opportunity. If you don't perform, they go back and they choose another candidate whom they feel can serve them better. But if the court takes away that right, I think we're just playing. It consumes the community. So I want to appeal to the judiciary to please, whenever cases come before them, I may be on the ballot, I may not be on the ballot, but there are young people coming in, and those young people should be given a chance.
Absolutely.
That when they win elections, and there should be nothing to remove them from courts. From serving the electorate, which they campaigned so hard to win. So,
I got this. So, cousin, we're live on Armed Forces Radio 107.7 FM. The discourse is live here with the perspective of thinking that women should be part of this conversation this morning. We're lobbying for you to be actually equally represented in the National Assembly. As a matter of fact, if you allow cousin, it's not just National Assembly alone. Is it a crime if a woman becomes a governor of a state? Do you understand me now? So I should think that you can come live on 0707 242 6258, except if you hold sentiments like my former president who would want to give a place for women. If not, I think that everyone should jump on this one and let's make our voices heard on live radio broadcast 0707 242 6258 as the number for you to call and be part of this live radio broadcast on the reserved seats for women bill. We're looking at it with so much interest that you can talk to it as well. Honorable Beni is still doing justice to the live radio broadcast. Now, we talked to this one. How will the bill work in the Senate, House of Representatives, and Houses of Assembly should it scale through?
Like I said, once the bill works, of course, the president, when it scales through, the president will give his assent. And then we'll have more women voices. And for the first time, Nigerians will listen to more enriching debates.
Cousin.
I'm sure Nigerians enjoy listening to Senator Natasha.
You can say that again. You can say that again. Yes, cousin.
More women who are articulate, who are, women, as you know, are intellectually grounded.
Very true.
And even if you're not intellectually grounded and you have something to say, you have more women voices, more female voices, and that will make the debate richer.
All right.
I believe we'll see more programs, projects for women and children and youth, the young people.
Very well.
Unemployment will come down because, these women are mothers.
Yes, cousin.
And they're mothers of these young people who they've trained, they've graduated, and they're not doing much. And so maybe we can begin to think of how to do more for the women, the children, and the youth.
All right.
And like I said earlier, to also bring an end to infant and maternal mortality, out of school children. We have one of the highest numbers, not just in the north, but even also in the south. People are we don't want to go to school anymore. And that's a problem. Parents are not keeping their children in school. So women, definitely, the more women come into the assembly, and hopefully women are peacemakers. There'll be more peace.
Absolutely.
Women, I think they'll bring an end to insurgency in this country.
Amen. Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Now, don't allow the Honorable alone to be the one talking on this matter. I should think that you can come up on 0707 242 6258. The perspective of the Deputy Speaker, I have a little of it here. The Special Seats Bill for Women in Nigeria's National Assembly aims to create additional seats specifically for women to address low representation in the legislature. Key aspects include creating new temporary constituencies for women to be filled by direct election, ensuring equal privileges to other legislators, and being reviewed after a set period. This measure seeks to boost women's participation without altering existing constituencies and has garnered support from various stakeholders, including the Speaker of the House of Representatives and women's groups. What the bill proposes: additional seats. The bill would add special seats for women in both the Senate and House of Representatives, along with 3 additional seats per state in their respective state houses of assembly, as you heard from the Honorable Sister, Honorable Benilar. And I think that at this point you would want to tell me that if you followed up on the perspective I gave earlier, that currently 20 women are represented in Nigeria's National Assembly. I don't know if that shocked you, because you have about 360 House of Representative members, right? And you have 109 senators, and you're just having 20 members. Put the numbers together, and you would be challenged to feel that at this point, it is important that we build a perspective. You want performance? Vote women. Adaora, cousin, where have you been? You took some time to be here.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so now that's how women apologize. Now, can I introduce her properly? Adaora Onyechere Sydney Jag is a multi-talented international broadcast journalist, social innovation and policy development expert, and a leading advocate for inclusive governance across Africa. A former head of the Women Affairs and Gender Cluster Committee for the African Union, ECOSOC, Nigeria, Strategic Advocacy Lead Human Capital Africa, a leading advocate for the Reserved Seats for Women Bill, and the Southeast Zonal Coordinator, Reserved Seats for Women Campaign Coalition. Adaora has built a formidable reputation as a voice for transformation, equity, and leadership. She is the host of Gender Agenda on AIT, Africa's premier program on gender policy and inclusion, and the lead anchor of Kakaki. You know what it means now. Now, maybe that was why she had to come in a little behind time. The African Voice, a flagship current affairs, slow amplifying citizen voices across the continent. You don't need this explicit again because they know you. I don't know how you felt when you came in and met Honorable Beni seated as one of the women that we've appreciated while in service to this Nigerian nation. Now, talk to us. We've taken the conversation to a point. She had done quite a lot, and you have been very particular about it as well. Let's hear you speak to the Nigerian people, because at this point, I intend that we have quite a number of people that will jump on this conversation to push the narrative that women need equality.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Honorable Benila, for always holding the touch. We appreciate you. You inspire, as always. For me, I'll just start by saying, first of all, no society develops by accident. Society is developed by design. And for me, representation, especially political representation, is the blueprint of that design.
Absolutely.
And that's the hallmark of where we are at the moment. We have tried to engage at the political level. We have tried to engage socially. We have also tried to engage culturally. But I can tell you that it is very dynamic for Nigeria's political space, because the ecosystem has for decades been shrunk by the patriarchal system of how our politics is measured. And it is not the fault of Nigeria. It is the fault of socialization. And that socialization had taken a trend, not just from the time that we are in now, but even the time before political parties started to allow women to vote. So if women are voting only 52 years after, I mean, you look at the time of when women were allowed to have suffrage movements and, be able to be engaged in political party participation, to the time when they were actually allowed to vote, to the time when they are even actually allowed to lead in political party structure. So for me, I think that the design here is the conversation around quota. Quota system is not a new system across the world, including Africa. However, Nigeria's dynamism for these adventures, somebody would call it, is the fact that we are at a crossroad. I just walked in, on you talking about the numbers. You're looking at 14 states without state assembly members. So who are those at the committees, and what are the conversations for the burden bearers of issues like insecurity, economic exclusion, girl-child education, child marriage? How do you communicate such policies down to the community level? And that's the conversation we're having. We're not saying that Nigeria does not have policies, but we're saying that we need to have deliberate policies that look at emergency situations where equality and equity becomes a conversation of justice, and not just numbers. And that is what I like to say when I say, when we start the narrative framing, we need to move from the narrative framing of just gender hype. So you're saying, the first woman to occupy. No, we need to move from that to move to a competence conversation, a competence framing, where we normalize women in leadership and political representation, not just as gender, but as human beings who represent the status quo. So I would say that when we're thinking about the reserved seats bill for women, we're looking at an instrument that will correct the injustice that has bedeviled not just the political system, but the leadership cadre of Nigeria. And listen, when I say this with a modicum of courage, because we're not just going to have quota system and everything, everything just gets fixed in a bottle. Or we're not just going to have quota system and, it becomes a silver bullet. It's not. Okay. Because when we get the quota system, we now begin to normalize women in leadership position, even within the political party calculation. If we only look at quota as just fixing numbers, it becomes tokenism. But we need to look at quota as fixing the system where injustice has been leveraged not just because women are not included, but that the system is skewed against women because of the lack of political ecosystem. So I would say that, to just round this off, is that we are not, I would really love, in as much as we are at the 10th parliament now and we have seen the first, second reading, we're getting to the time where we are looking at voting towards the end of November. I believe that this nation is sitting, at the edge of a volcano. Why? Because the more you exclude women, the less you see a wholesome development at the grassroots level, which is where national development begins. And the moment that population is excluded, you can as well say that our democracy is skewed. And that's where we are. What we are saying is the reserve seat is not give me my own seats. It is let the voices count so that development can work.
And that's the perspective we wish that it's always a matter on everybody's mind listening to this broadcast of the program this morning, HallowMace on radio. I can't have enough of the ladies with me. I call them cousins, right? That's the name we have always rolled with. Thank you so much for being part of this live radio broadcast. And someone says this is the time at which we might want them to talk to us some more because their spoken English, their communication is making us feel good. And that's why we're finding it challenging to reach out with a call. I hope that you should talk on this program, 0707 242 6258. The numbers again, 0707 242 6258. If it is challenging to get through with the call, you can send a text message and I put it to you. We will take your live messages here on the broadcast, 0707 242 6258. Now, the concept of tokenism has been the matter and it's a challenge for me, Honorable Beni Lara. Let me talk to this first cousin before we go into that. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
My name is Stephen. I'm calling from Kano.
Stephen, you have 60 seconds. Let's have you.
Please, I'm just tuning in and the concern is based on the woman policy.
Yes, bro. Turn down the volume for me, please, so that I hear you clearly.
Okay.
Yeah. It's still loud, and I wouldn't want to let him go now.
Okay,
Because
I have done this.
All right, go ahead. 60 seconds. I don't know how to count it now.
Okay, my own contribution is that for this to come in place, I believe in each local government, every state have 3 senators and other house of rep.
Yes,
so if women can be 2 or one in every state, and men can be 2 in every state, and the house of rep, they can divide it into 2. That is the only way it can be played. Okay. So let it stand as a constitution that each state one woman is in senator and other house of rep, let it divide into 2, and it to go a long way. Thank you.
Okay. I'm trying to make sense of what he said now, but the concept is equality. That's what I'm looking out for. Actually, I was going to come to you because I wish that we are able to speak from experience. You've been in politics for over some years now. I want to hear you talk to us because your experience will help inform some conversation that we're having now. How was it for you? Are there resistance? Do you find some challenging moments where you are actually struggling to put through what you feel is your mindset or ideologies, having the male folks always occupying some of these places? Is it challenging?
Thank you. Before I answer that question, I want to go back. I want to sort of correct an impression.
Okay.
This bill we're talking about is not necessarily a gender quota. It's based on affirmative action.
Okay.
So he is saying, the caller is saying that he's proposing that out of 3 seats, maybe 2 should be given to men. No, maybe he doesn't understand. We don't want to threaten the men. We're being gender sensitive. The other way around.
You even respect it. Me, I'm thinking of equality. 2.5 for each.
Yeah, so let us have additional seats. And the cost will be at almost very little to the nation.
All right.
Because it's just very few, 1 per state. So I still believe that the approach to go would be to leave the existing seats the way they are, which is 3 per senator, and then just add an additional one, and then create a similar proportion in the House of Reps. So, having said that, let me answer your question. Of course, in life, there's always struggles. That's part of life. You must, even as you grow, we all have children, and as the children go from one grade to another, from primary, secondary, university, you sort of see the little struggle. You learn to struggle as a child. First, being in the National Assembly wasn't so much of a struggle as it was of trying to build consensus. So, lobbying is very important. Lobbying goes a long way to achieve your goals and your aims. I want to write a book about it, so I'm not going to say too much.
I'll wait for it. I'll wait for it. Now, I'm loving it. Cousins, what's happening to you? 070-7242-6258. I take those numbers slow and steady. 070-7242-6258 is the number for you to call and be part of this live radio broadcast as we talk more on the reserved seats bill for women. We know that what we've had now is no longer going to be an illusion. It's a hope that we are feeling that in the coming days should become a reality. Now, I'm looking at what we need to handle now at the moment. While I had Honorable Beni talked on some of the challenges, you were not here. Now, I'm hoping that you speak to us because I think that when you talk about politics in Nigeria, do you think that women have so much understanding about politics? Would it be that most of them are actually being influenced by the words of our former president, their place belongs to the kitchen? Are you sure the education, the sensitization about politics is enough for women? That's one of the challenges that I think we should address.
Okay, I would rather say that it is actually the alternative thinking rather than a challenge.
Okay.
And I will explain. First of all, let me explain how this bill works. And I would say it again because of the last caller. We are looking at the reserved seats for women's bill as a bill that seeks to create one seat per state for Senate, including the FCT. One seat for the House of Representatives across the 36 states, including the FCT. 3 seats for the State Assembly, representing the constituencies. Now, this is a sunset bill, which means that we're going to be looking at this bill for a period of 4 election cycles, meaning 16 years. And after that, we will look at it, we will review it, and look at whether that bill had made any sense in shoving up the numbers, not just by numerical fixes, but by development, taking down development to the local level. That's one. Then secondly, we need to also understand that this bill, these seats are to be contested by women alone. Across board, across the 19 political parties. That is if we still have 19 by the time we get to 2027, right? So that is what this bill, so what it means is that the men have nothing to fear. They have nothing to worry about. The women are not coming to struggle with them for their seats, even though there are still existing seats, which the members who have run on those seats can still come around. But these seats are for women to run, to make sure that at the end of the election, at the end of the primaries in the political party, because that's the first hurdle. Usually it is not even getting to the ballot. It is getting the primaries and then getting to the ballot. And that is why this bill is so instructive. Because what it means is that every political party will lean into the legislation to ensure that a woman emerges and then competes at the election, just like every other person. Now, talking about, when I've heard this question so much about whether women, first is whether they are prepared, second, whether they understand politics, then if they're politically savvy, we do not ask the men these questions. For me, it's a little sexist and I'm tired of answering it. So for me, I do want us in the media to start to redirect the conversation and look at gender identities as normalized conversations. That we present women not as the other gender, but as human beings who are in a space where leadership can thrive and where they can compete actively within political spaces. Everybody needs some sort of orientation, whether politically or socially, both men and women. I can also tell you that there are men who don't understand politics for politics, but understand politics as as appointive positions, as godfatherism, as, I'm there to eat my turn. They do not think of it as service. So when you talk about political knowledge, it depends on what you call political knowledge.
I understand that.
Right? Now, finally, to come to the fundamental argument about the quota system. We know that one of the things for me key is when these quota systems are designed, they are designed to be held accountable by those who have chosen those into office. So you're not just going to vote a woman and then she goes into office so you fill the number, but there will be people who also are reviewing to check whether she's done so many amazing things as an honorable member and still keeps being a voice in and out of office. And that's the kind of development women bring. It is sustainable. It is tangible. It moves. I mean, it shows that even when you are not in the room, you present impact that sustain even when you are not there. And that is the ability of women. When we talk about countries, Rwanda comes to mind, cliche, 61% women in the assembly. What is the outcome of this? Stronger education policy, community health programs, reduced corruption, gender inclusive budgeting. That is what you get at the Rwandan parliament. You talk about Uganda, even though they say constitutionally districts, okay, seats for women are chosen constitutionally. But what happens is that the presence of women in every political cycle has then begun since 1989. Of course, we saw the roadmap that Kenya took during the last election and Tanzania, even though I don't want to speak about Tanzania too much. But let's focus on Kenya, okay? Adopting special seats and gender quotas has created continuity pipelines for women governors, MPs, and for mentorship. It is key to also understand that when women are put in position, they also create legacy strains to be able to bring in the next generation. And that is what we are asking for. And finally, I would say that our political parties are not going to fix this injustice themselves. If we do not have a legislature, and I'm sure she believes, she knows what I'm talking about. If we say, let's go and do nominal, proportional nomination by political party. Oh, APC, bring your women. PDP, bring your women. I will tell you that these people will still muzzle the process and still make it uninclusive. The only way we can actually gatekeep and be accountable of the process is by having legislation which speaks to constitutional demands from each political party. And I say that this country will not be forgotten in a hurry, because this is not just a legacy bill, it is a generational bill.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Now, I love that we are live on this program and you've been following. It's just that I intend that you say something, make some contributions if you can on 0707 242 6258. I can get tired requesting you to come live on radio 0707 242 6258 as the number for you to actually make your contributions. We would love to hear from you as we push the narrative for this reserve seat bill for women. Importantly, Honorable Beni is here and she understands the concept of godfatherism. And while Adaora was speaking, I'm trying to see the concept too, that let's not still have it twisted where people will come to influence that too, that when you want to have women, it's going to be by selection. Most times when we look at our election now, it's as though we're not getting it right, yet hoping that Mupitan will do something good 2027. So talk to us. The concept of godfatherism and the concept of those who have always feel that they are in charge and they can always manipulate things so that we are able to have the right people, because I'm trying to make sense of it going forward. Let's not take advantage of the moment and then we bring in people who are not actually built, people who are not enlightened, with sentiments. Now you don't bring this one and bring that one and put. Let's hear you talk to us. How can we deal with that issue of godfatherism? Should we have this bill passed through? The caller just dropped. Cousin, you could get back. I thought you were on 0707 242 6258. Would love to hear from you. I don't know why the line dropped, but you can come through 0707 242 6258, or you could send a text message while I think I can get through with you. Yes, cousin.
Well, the issue of godfatherism is what has caused a lot of issues of internal democracy, lack of internal democracy. And you see people moving from one political party to another. It affects everybody. It's not just women. I think that's one of the things that we as a nation must address and say there should be a level playing field for everyone. I dare say that in my own state, I've not experienced that.
Right.
I've not experienced that throughout my career. I've contested on a level playing field where there's been primaries and every vote counted. And I've not experienced lapses even from INEC either.
Indeed. Honorable, let me hold your thought a little. We finally have got the cousin here. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
We're very well. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
I'm Bright by name.
Brian.
Bright.
Okay, Bright.
by name.
Let's have your Bright submission. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Africa.
Okay. Go ahead.
My brother is in my contribution to the topic in which you guys are discussing. You know, in country nowadays are messed up already. But for that reasons and all that, you know, a lot of people today have the opportunity to move forward, but they have been pressed down, and it is all as a result of this comparison that we're practicing. Somebody might be qualified, but you see, he will never get a chance at all. So the country has been messed up. We need just prayer, that's all.
All right. Bright, so we need prayers. That's the Bright submission he's made. Let me have your final words, Adaora, because our time is gone. And I think that this is the point at which in 60, you can wrap up your thoughts, lobby some more for these women. 2027 is in view. Are you sure that we can have it before then?
Absolutely. I have a gusto of courage and faith that it would come to pass.
Men
negotiate power for dominance. Women negotiate power for development.
Did you hear that, cousin?
This is not romanticizing the issue. It is documented within governance behavior. We've seen it from women who have represented Nigeria, from Dora Akunyili to Amina Mohammed to Obi Ezekwesili to Honorable Beni here to millions of young girls who know that Nigerian women can play the part just as the men can when they get into leadership. Absolutely. So I say to the 10th Assembly, kudos, how far we've come. And I know that your daughters, your wives, your sisters, and the next generation of girls will remember this hard decision, because I know that for a lot of people, it is squeezing the ego out of them. But I know that they will do this for the next generation. Thank you so much.
I have to say now, man, as if it was a prayer. Honorable Beni, your final words before we go.
Well, I think she said it all. I must thank the Right Honorable Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, of the 10th Assembly, and the Deputy Speaker, all the members of the 10th Assembly, not just the House of Reps, the Senate. And I believe that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will easily assent to this bill. So I think this bill shows us that when women come together and unite, we can change things.
Absolutely.
The issue of godfatherism can be a thing of the past.
Amen.
Because women, the more women there are on the scene, I believe that will come to happen. Women are not just... like we said, it's not just going to be tokenism. They're not just going to be people who will be handed out to, but they will contest, and women will bring to bear not just their experience, but they will bring to bear that spirit of fairness that they have, and they will ensure that the issue of godfatherism is a thing of the past. Bills like this help to correct the system.
Indeed.
There's been systemic discrimination. So when this bill comes, it will be an example of how our unity can bring change and real reforms, not just for women, but for women, children, youth, and the entire society.
Awesome one made there by Honorable Beni Lara, member 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th National Assembly. But I interestedly talked on the concept of partly 10, which I'm hoping that what the Supreme Court had done, maybe some people will learn some lessons and help us get the perspective clearly. I just had to speak Tarogna, right? Nigeria is a blessed nation with over 500 different languages. I most appreciate Adaora. I wish I had you at the beginning so that we would have engaged some more. But you're a media personality too, so we promise you, cousin, that in the coming days, this conversation will continue on our own broadcast here each time we come at you. And I think you would do more too. We cannot resolve, we cannot be intimidated. We hope that true representation and equality is what we are looking out for both men and women. You would speak with the understanding you've spoken on now as we had this program today. Look for development, put women in the space, and see development become a reality. A big thank you for coming through, cousins.
Thank you, cousin.
I'm looking at 2027. This is a point at which I'm like, okay, we are ready for you, right? Take it easy on us. We'll be back next week at 10 a.m. live on radio with another interesting conversation on HallowMace on radio. Bob Genesis, the Gospel Torture Cousin on radio remains my name. A beautiful morning to you.